when looking at the quarterbacks this past season, I mean, it all stops and starts with one Stephon Brown. The North Carolina native had a breakout junior season. Well, I guess it was a senior season, but junior season, and I was happy for the man. It's no secret. Steph's a personal friend of mine, so obviously, I want everybody to succeed. I was happy for him because he came on here, and I will link the interviews above. He came on here twice. One was in the off season when he talked about what he needed to improve on because as if you're new, he was the only quarterback on the roster last season that had thrown a collegiate pass. So there was a lot on him to really be the guy. I thought I know the guys, the ones we interviewed, raved about his leadership. That was never a question. The improvements he made from a passing standpoint. I think he was at it was like roughly 50 something percent last year, maybe. He got that up to 65% this year. I mean, he just made tremendous strides. Now, obviously, you have to credit quarterbacks coach Adam Lechtenberg on that front too. But like just like if you like go back to the employee game, UCO does not win that football game. When Steph does not carry the load the way he did. I think if you're looking for evidence that he's improved in the past game, go back to that Fort Hays game. He threw for 381. That what I saw in the Fort Hays game was similar to what I saw when I was watching his tape out of Independence. Okay, because if you were to watch Steph the vast majority of the season, you would say you wanted him to pass the ball, just given because he was so effective in the run game. I just think, especially later on in the season, once he got chemistry with that new receiving core, you really saw what he could do. As like I said, listen before the Fort Hays game to me, and then Northeastern State. I think he had 2 or 3 touchdown passes there as well. And go to the Lincoln game. He had that dime to Jacob Delso in the corner of the end. I mean, you finally seeing the potential come to fruition. And I think if you're a UCO fan, what excites you the most is the fact that one, he is returning, which is a humongous boost. And number two, you can only imagine even more strides being made by the man, given by the fact here that the bulk of the receiving core is a returning. It'd be year 2 under the system now, so there should be some chemistry. There should be some familiarity. The offensive line should also be better. And they brought in, if you go back to the early signing day video, they have brought in some more receivers there. I really think Steph's a guy that personally I think should be able to play at one of the various pro leagues. I'm just really excited to see what he does as an encore last season because let's just be honest there. A lot of the time, Steph was the offense. There was a lot on the man's shoulders, and the man made a lot happen. I think what you have to appreciate the most about the man is the man's fight. You go back to that Pitt State game. I was very critical of the team in that Pitt State game. I did say there was a few guys I did feel was ready to play in that football game. Steph was indeed one of those guys. It was 38-0. The man was still out there avoiding sacks, breaking ankles, running over guys. The man is different, and you just again, I say from a pure talent standpoint, I definitely am by a wide margin the best quarterback I have seen in my time covering in a UCO uniform dating back to 2017. What the problem had been, it was just raw talent. Like it was just pure raw talent, and the man himself said he didn't even really have a quarterback's coach. I think until he got to was it high school, college, something like that. So the man is still raw in terms of that, but like I said before, you're seeing improvements out of him. I think the man is really in store for a big senior season. When we're looking at the man's numbers here, passing the ball, 1,784 yards, 12 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, 65.2% completion percentage. All right, now the 6 interceptions, a lot of them, I think 2 or 3 came against Washburn, and they were playing in like 20, 30 mile per hour winds. It just was not good. I mean, it just was not good. So I think half of them came in one game. I thought he did a much better job as well going through progressions and reads this past season, whereas compared with last season, if the first read wasn't there, it almost seemed like the man was kind of lost. But I saw him go through progressions. He did a much better job when running, of getting down and going out of bounds. He finished with 469 yards and 6 touchdowns at 3.9 yards a carry. Now he would have had 612, but the sack yardage. So again, I'm really excited to see what he does next season. Then looking at OSU transfer Peyton Thompson, I mean that's basically what I got out of it. Was I mean, he wasn't. Okay. I'll tell you this. This is the way I view him. I view him as a guy. He comes in the game. You have a lead. He's not going to lose you the game. I also don't think, just based on what I've seen, he's also going to win you a game, which is fine. I mean, in certain circumstances, like that's fine if you're up by, I don't know, 3-4 scores the second half. I mean, but it's just I did not see anything that leads me to believe if Steph were to go down, that the offense could still execute even at the level that it was, and it was not great. Let's be honest, it only averaged. They would check numbers. They only averaged 22.4 points a game. I don't think it would have the same effect, just given how Steph was important to that offense. And again, I think that's another big reason why the coach went out there and brought in Dawson Hurl, the former Missouri Southern starting quarterback. This is no disrespect to Peyton Thompson, who had 288 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions at 55.5% completion percentage. I just don't see it, and so hopefully he also improves. You got JD Geneva. He played in 3 games apparently last year. He was 2 of 2 his first collegiate passes. Again, I just need to see more than 2 passes against Lincoln in the second half to really give you a true feel of how I feel about the guy. But that's just my thoughts here on the quarterback position. I really think next year should be better. I think significantly better. Like I said, especially if the pieces around Steph, the pieces around that unit, do live up to what to the potential we have seen this past season.